There's no intro because Cappy wants to go for a hike and he's waiting on a handful of people. And unlike your typical American dipshit, when everyone I'm just not going to waste 15 minutes. Hello, Aaron. If I could please be kept anonymous. My name is such and such. Your late 20s. Took the Queendom IQ test. I got 100. Other tests I've gotten 70s and 80s. All right, that indicates to me you're not trying or something. That's an awfully wide spread, and not for whatever this counts. You write pretty well, so I'm going to assume it's closer to 100. Like 70 is officially mentally impaired. Like you would need human interaction, like adults to supervise you at all times. I don't want to plant a seed of delusion and get my hopes up with becoming a tech entrepreneur dude, bro, but I do want to make at least 100,000 or more. Can you help me understand how best to become a high-paid 1099er? I currently am working in IT support as a contractor for a staffing company, supporting a different company. I made $28 an hour working remotely before as a full-time employee for a different one, but they had a workforce cost reduction last. Well, let's stop here. That's not bad. $28 an hour? And you had remote work. I mean, unless you're in California or something, but you're kind of on your way there. That's not now you're a little old, you're late 20s. What were you doing for the 10 years, 18 to 28? What were you doing? But that's not bad. Um, Layoff. So I'm back at $23 an hour contract work at the moment. I also do web development on the side, but I've only made 200 and have had 3 clients. Okay, well, that's probably because web development has become pretty automated. I mean, I know assholeconsulting.com is a shit website, but I have no experience programming a website, and even I could churn that out. And so I'm sure with things like Squarespace or kind of the click and drag type of IT stuff. So I don't know what, and how much effort are you putting into web development? Is web development even in demand? Like, don't you be shooting that white girl blood from the suburbs in your vein, thinking that, well, I don't want to do yes. From what limited information I know about IT and the realms of computers is one, it's constantly evolving, but it's you got to do what the people want you to do, and that's constant upgrade, constant learn new skills, constant recertifications, and web development. Not to insult people on web development, that's pretty entry level, low level shit. And then the second thing, how much have you been hustling? Do you tell people, hey, do you create content to create like kind of a web presence and if you need help, hey, here's the thing about web development, but da, 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 and you put together a video 3 a week. But if you need help, I could do. Contact me at where we go. Again, my main goal is to stay humble with regards to my IQ. Well, you have to stay humble. You don't have a high IQ. Why would you wouldn't brag about that IQ? We won't talk about your IQ anyway. What it has nothing to do with your field of work. And also be able to work as a 1099 contractor with high pay for the rest of my life. I've never been a 1099 before, so I'm completely ignorant about how the process works. Also, you've been getting way funnier in your videos. Keep it up. You're doing God's work pretty much for all of our Father's work. Laugh out loud. Yeah, so we have the course of the dad you never had. I sensed the profit and I was right, but there was also a demand for that course. Thank you and don't stop. No wife, no kids, 10,500 in debt, coding boot camp debt, and $500 on a credit card. Under IQ on a good day, blah, blah, blah. All right. So, can you help me understand how best to become a high paid 1099er? All right. Then I asked you, what certifications do you have any if in IT? And you said no certifications. All right, look, dude, it doesn't matter if it's IT or medicine or I guess in my case, writing, but let's remove that because this is a statistical oddity. Dude, you need skills. Okay, that's it. And you need your certifications. And you come to me You're like, how do I make 6 figs with no certifications? You have to get certifications. And you have to get certifications in things that pay. All right. Uh, And I'm not picking on you. I'm picking on everyone under 30 because you're all a bunch of fucking dipshits. This idea that let's admit you have mailed in C minus level effort here, barely anything. You went to coding boot camp. But you guys got this idea that, well, it just happens to me. Like, how do I go about making lots of money, but with no effort whatsoever? Stop being a white chick from the suburb shooting up the blood, right? Knock it off. You're not a pretty girl with big tits. You don't just like, tee I'm a businesswoman showing your tits on Instagram and you get a 1099 form. And that's just a tax thing. Buddy, you got to get more certifications and more skills. And not just easy ones or bullshit ones or ones that are out of date or everyone has. You need to find out what the highest paying subfields within ITI are and then go get those certifications. And that's going to require studying and then practicing and begging for some kind of work. I remember getting what was it, CCNA? It took with some serious studying. And, I'm pretty serious and sitting and working security guard shifts and studying the big old green book, which was actually very well written and was written by a gal. I was like, oh man, she's a good writer. And then you go get certified and then you still don't have experience. You got to go out and like, hey, can I apprenticeship or can I practice it? I remember, what was it? Intel? No, Cisco had a simulator where it had all the switches and routers and cables and everything. And it was very effective, but it only taught you conceptually. You had to actually go and do it. Well, then I got dragged back into banking. Buddy, you're a web developer, web programmer, and then you do customer support. Why the fuck would anyone 100,000, you want to make 6 figures? Why would anyone pay you $50 an hour? What do you do that is worth $50 an hour? And it doesn't matter if it's IT or medicine or accounting or whatever, you need the fucking skills. You don't have the skills, you don't have the certifications. And it's pretty easy in IT to figure out, hey, you need a certification in this. They give you certifications. You don't have to go to school. You just self-study. You don't make and forget the 1099 bullshit. The first thing you got to do is have skills that people want. You just don't declare yourself, oh, I'm a businessman. And I set up an LLC and got a tax identification number. And I'm not making any money. Well, it's because no one wants to hire you. Go become a hot chick. Go become a surgeon. Go become, in your case, go get certified. It's been years since I looked into it. Whatever is in demand for IT certifications, go get certified. Stop fucking avoiding the hard work, which is harder than actually doing the hard work. What you're doing now is the hard way, not the hard way. And just go find out what it is. Get certified. You're going to have to keep plopping along here in customer support and work your daytime job. That's fine. Beg and plead to go get some experience at something else for a company or an internship or whatever. Get 6 months, a year experience so you kind of know what you're doing. So you're bringing value to somebody who needs VMware certified, Microsoft certificate, whatever it is. And if you work and you get experience and you know what you're doing, and here's the other thing, and you're in the field, then you might know other employers, clients, people like, oh, I need a guy who can do that. And then you go and then you offer your services. It would help to have an LLC and like a little, maybe not business card, but a well put together website, which certainly you can do. And then you go, hey, I offer these services. Maybe get certified in other things. I also offer these services. And then you find some kind of small company that needs, they don't need a full-time guy. And you start offering those services. You start meeting other people as you work in the field. Hey, do you know someone that's like, well, send them my way. There's none of this. What do you fucking think it is? Like, oh, I'm just sitting here in the desert and no one's giving me money. Are you reaching out? Do you have the skills, and are you reaching out? What are you doing for sales? You don't even have anything to sell. You got customer service and web development. So, the easiest thing is to get what is really in demand. So the people are looking. Do you look for fat chicks? You look for fat chicks with other men's children who's got a lippy attitude and an STD? No, you don't look for that. You look for the thin chick with the long hair without other men's kids and da 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 da. Do you think hot chicks have to go and promote themselves? People are looking for them. Why don't you become the hot chick of the IT world? And then people will look for you. And what you can use as a conduit to that, once you have the skills that people want, your recruiters might actually be a help. Where it's like, because not all of their work is going to be W-2 incomes. That could be full time. Your recruiters, all drawbacks of recruiters considered, they will have 1099 work. Now they're going to give you the 1099. But once you start figuring out, oh, these people over at this industry, those people over there. In other words, you got some wandering in the desert to do for at least 2 years. But once you get some contract work, and you could be straight up after a while, let's say you have the skills that are really in demand, and you go to your recruiter and like, hey, I got these skills that are really in demand. And they say, okay, well, we'll pay you 20. Like, no, you're paying me 50. Well, no. Or just go straight to the company. Hey, you need this? I saw this advertisement. Do you need that? I do this. You want to cut out the recruiter? Save you $10 an hour, make me $10 an hour more. But it's first get a product you can sell. Cappy, I want to sell oranges. Well, do you have any oranges? No. Well, so get the product you want to sell and then go, however it is, usually working in a field for a while, developing a network. And then you get a website, get a company, and like, hey, these are the services I offer. And you slowly build up a client base. But I had a kind of a friend who just like, well, I'm gonna go into business. I never knew what his business was. He just started wearing a sport jacket. It's called Cargo Cult. Look it up, Cargo Cult. And he ended up being homeless later on. So that's it. That's how you become a 1099er. Is you become a high paid 1099er if you have an invaluable skill that everybody wants. As it applies to IT, get certified in the most in-demand certifications or qualifications. The secondary thing is getting out there and marketing it. Never been a 1099er before, so I'm completely ignorant as to how the process works. Well, the individual process, all right, I explained to you, you need to get the skills, then you do the marketing. But the actual process is, and I won't even bother setting up a company, but once you get the skills and once you get some years experience and you can start approaching either recruiters or businesses, or you go to networking events or whatever it is, conventions, then more formally, you would create an LLC. You go to the secretary. Don't ask me how. Sort of fucking Christ, don't ask me how. Go look it up on the internet. Go to the Secretary of State of your particular state, and you just, how do I set up an LLC? There it is. If you could look for porn, you could set up an LLC, and then you'll get an employer identification number, which is just your company's social security number, a tax identification number. Then you take that. Then you go to a bank. Say, I'd like to open up a corporate bank account, checking account, so you can pay for things, and you fund that bank account with your own personal money, which I don't know how much you need. Being an IT guy, you're obviously you're not like selling a physical product, but you just need a bank account so the money has a place to be deposited. And then you're off to the races. Yeah, and that's good. Yeah, no kids, no wife. Good for you, man. You have very little debt. That's good. That's very good. And 23, see, if you're 20, you're late 20s, and you've worked for different firms, you must have some people, Don't hit them up yet. You have nothing to offer. Okay. You got nothing to offer yet, but find out what's in high demand. You've known people over the years. Hell, you don't even have to set up an LLC. If you get really good enough skills, you go to the recruiters, they'll maybe find you something. You don't have to set up an LLC if you don't want to. There's nothing wrong being a W-2 guy. Just know that the recruiters are going to take a percentage. All right. Let's go to the super chats. Ken Rose, $5. Thanks, Ken. Thank you. Wisdom Vision Productions, $2. Cybersecurity, bro. SEC plus NEC plus CCNA. Yep. Those are your basic ones. And CCNA, that's not even that hard. It's just tedious. I remember there was super routing and sub routing, or supranetting or subnetting. Oh my God. You know how? Yeah, I know how to do it. They made it sound way more intimidating than it was. Hand clogs, $2. Love is love. Love and peace. Thanks, Hat. Nonstop Dre, $2. He could just become a life coach. I got a request. I don't think the kid's gonna pay. It's like, dude, bro, I'm trying to become a podcaster. How come I'm not successful? I'm like, I hope he pays. I hope he pays because I'm gonna go off on him. Dude, bro, how come I can't just be a hot chick with big tits and make money on the internet? Justify Misagony, $2. Just finished my consult with Chad. Went great. Good. I'm glad that helped out there, Justified. So, all right, that's it. Questions, answers, Asshole Consulting. We'll see you guys later. Toodles.